Kurt O'Keefe, Michigan consumer bankruptcy attorney in the backyard of World Headquarters, talking about today what types of property can you keep if you file bankruptcy. Of course, the lawyer answer is it depends. What kind of property, how much it's worth, do you owe any money on the property? And in Michigan we have a choice between the federal exemptions allowable under bankruptcy law and the state exemptions that we have under state law. If you're in that Chapter 13 payment plan bankruptcy, you are keeping everything because that's not a liquidation. There's a trustee, and in the 13 you pay the trustee keeps a percentage to run the office, and they pay the creditors according to your plan. So you're keeping all your property in a Chapter 13. The value of the property has to be shown, listed, everything has to be disclosed for reasons that impact the plan in a Chapter 13 case. In a Chapter 7 straight or liquidation bankruptcy, as we call it, again, as with all bankruptcies, all property must be listed. There's no discretion, there's no choice. Property is a very broad definition. So if you were hit by a car a year ago and you didn't file a suit yet, your claim exists now. That is property. You have a right to sue that person. We're presuming that you do. And that statute of limitations didn't expire yet, so that's an asset. A cause and action, a claim against someone that must be listed. There's a couple of dozen of different categories of property, but all types of property have to be listed. So it doesn't mean real estate. It means vehicles. It does mean real estate. It means clothing, furniture. It means power tools. It means guns, fishing, golf equipment, whatever property there is. So what is the value of that property? Well, what would someone pay you for it? It's not if you had a fire in your house and made an insurance claim and had to buy new property. It's certainly not worth now what it was when you paid for it. So we're talking, what about, I say, garage sale value? Now, with all the information online these days, you can go online and get prices for most types of items. And in Michigan, probably 95% more than that of the Chapter 7 cases are what we call no asset cases. So most people can exempt or keep all their property. The federal exemptions are a fairly generous set of dollar amounts for different types of property that you can keep, and state exemptions, which sometimes make sense. If you have a husband and wife who own property together, then we don't have a limit for real estate and some other types of property, some types of stocks and bonds that can be owned, what's called tenancy by entireties. But usually the exemptions are more generous for the debtor under the federal exemptions. But I say to my clients, they ask, can I keep this item or that item? And it's like examining the iceberg one ice cube at a time. I have to see the complete list of all the property, how much that property is worth. Are there liens, meaning do you owe money on something? You might have a car worth $20,000, but if you owe $22,000 on it, there's no equity or value there. There's nothing there for the creditors because the car creditor that has the lien on the title will get that car before anybody else. So be precise and be accurate. Have everything for the attorney. All property means all property. Everything means everything. In your name. If your daughter drives that car and it's titled in your name, legally that's your property. That has to be listed. The good news is in most cases you'll be able to keep all that property even when you file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy. That's it for tonight from the backyard.